Have you ever wished you were the kind of person nothing could touch? The kind of person who doesn't flinch when someone turns their back on you, who doesn't spiral when they're ignored or blamed or betrayed? The kind of person who can stand in the middle of chaos and feel nothing. Not cold, not numb, just still, solid, unshaken. We live in a culture obsessed with that image, unbothered, emotionally invincible. But the truth is, the harder you chase that kind of strength, the more brittle you become. Because real strength was never about being untouchable. It was about no longer needing to be. Somewhere along the way, you started performing. You showed people what they wanted to see: calm, confident, collected. You told yourself it was protection. You had to appear strong. You had to hold it together. You had to act like none of it got to you. But the silence hurt. The pretending drained you. And every time you swallowed your truth to keep the peace, a part of you got quieter, smaller. And then one day you looked up and realized you'd built a life around looking okay instead of being free. And that's when the cracks started to show. It's easy to think that what hurts you is what happened, what they did, what they said, how they made you feel. But that's not the full story. It's not the event that breaks you. It's the place it hits. The words don't sting unless there's already a wound they press against. The silence doesn't echo unless something inside you is already desperate to be heard. What's out there only has power because of what's still unresolved in here. And that's a hard truth, because it means the real fight isn't happening around you. It's happening inside. So many people spend their lives reacting to ghosts, memories, emotional echoes. You think you're arguing with your partner, but you're actually defending yourself from something your father said 10 years ago. You think you're shutting down because someone disappointed you, but it's really because you've been carrying a fear of being unworthy since you were a kid. These emotional collisions, they're not about now. They're about the parts of you that never got to speak, that never got to feel safe, that never got to heal. And those parts don't disappear just because you ignore them. They don't die quietly. They wait. They watch. And when the time comes, they take over. You keep wondering why you overreact, why small things set you off, why you feel so heavy when nothing's actually happening. But there is something happening inside you. There's a system running your life that you can't see. A layer of hidden beliefs, emotional patterns, defense mechanisms, old wounds. It's like walking through life with a trigger wired to your heartbeat. And unless you learn how to disarm it, you will spend your whole life mistaking survival for stability. It's not your fault. You weren't taught how to feel. You were taught how to hide, how to toughen up, how to bury what made you vulnerable. Crying was weakness. Needing people was weakness. Talking about pain was weakness. So you built walls. You wore masks. You told yourself that feeling nothing was power. But that was a lie. Feeling nothing wasn't power. It was avoidance. And now you're exhausted from pretending not to hurt. Because you do hurt. You've just been trained not to show it. You told yourself, I don't care anymore. But you still think about it at night. You said, I'm over it. But your chest still tightens when the name comes up. You laugh it off, brush it off, power through. But deep down, you know, the pain's still there. You just got good at hiding it. That's not strength. That's fear in disguise. Real strength is being able to sit with the pain without letting it destroy you. Real strength is looking at your wounds and not turning away. It's not about proving anything. It's not about getting revenge. It's not about showing them you're fine. It's about finally letting go of the need to be untouchable because you've learned how to feel without falling apart. Pain is not your enemy. It's a messenger. It's trying to show you something. Every emotion you've buried is still alive, and it's still waiting for you to come back. Anxiety is unspoken truth. Anger is a boundary that's been crossed. Numbness is emotional exhaustion. These feelings don't come out of nowhere. They're signals. They're data. They're your soul's way of pulling you back to what matters. But instead of listening, you scroll. You drink. You work harder. You distract yourself. You say you're too busy. You say you're fine. You build a life that keeps you from having to stop long enough to feel what you've been avoiding. And that's how the damage compounds, not in one moment, but in years of silence. You've been trying to outrun something that lives inside you, and you wonder why nothing ever feels stable. You've spent years building armor, thinking it would protect you. But armor doesn't make you stronger. It just keeps you disconnected. It keeps you isolated from your own truth. And when life gets real, when the loss hits, when the relationship ends, when the mask slips, that armor doesn't save you. It shatters, because it was never built to carry what you've been holding. The only thing strong enough to hold your pain is you. Not the version of you that performs, not the version that hides, but the version that's willing to see everything clearly and stay. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to be healed. You need to be honest. You need to be present. You need to be whole. And wholeness doesn't mean you never break. It means you know how to rebuild. Everything you've been searching for in other people, validation, acceptance, understanding, it has to start inside. Because the truth is, no one can make you feel seen if you're still hiding from yourself. No one can make you feel loved if you've made pain your identity. And no one can give you peace if you keep outsourcing your worth to what the world does or doesn't do. You're not broken, you're buried. And it's time to come back. Not with force, not with bravado, but with clarity, with quiet, with presence. This is what real power feels like, when you know what you feel, why you feel it, and you no longer panic when it shows up. When you know your patterns, your triggers, your shadows, and you don't run from them anymore. When someone tries to use your past against you, and you smile because you've already made peace with it. This is what it means to stop performing strength and start embodying it. You still get angry, but you don't destroy things. You still feel sadness, but you don't drown. You still get hurt, but you don't lose yourself. That's what freedom looks like. Not invincibility, but clarity. You no longer react. You respond. You no longer beg. You walk away. You no longer prove. You know. And from that place, nothing can touch you. You've looked at your own darkness and stayed. You've faced the things you thought would break you, and they didn't. You're still here. You still feel, but now you see. You're not fragile. You're not crazy. You're not broken. You're becoming. This is the quiet revolution happening beneath the surface, a return to truth, a return to wholeness, a return to the self you buried to survive. No more masks, no more pretending, no more hiding your humanity to be liked, loved, or safe. Because you are done surviving. You're ready to live.